My next guest is a featherweight contender from St. Louis, and he trains out of Xtreme Couture MMA in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he joins me right now ahead of his fight at Shamrock 350 that happens next month in November. Josh Augustine joins me. Josh, welcome to the show, my man. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Hey, we got the bling. We got the freaking gear going on. You look really nice this evening, I must say. I could deduce that you're getting some work in with Shorty.
Oh, yeah. Shorty Torres is my guy. Sponsored by the Team Shorty Foundation. And he's also staying with me for his fight camp for his upcoming fight. He's got a huge fight. He's the Brave Bantamweight FC champion. He's a UFC veteran, awesome guy to have around, learn from, pick up little things every day, and just have him as a training partner and have around him. And I literally just finished up a mid-session. So, yeah, perks of being a Shorty Foundation athlete right here. Just, little merch, little something. It's all this stuff, though. So, I got to give it back after.
You look great, Josh. And I have to tell you, I introduced you as a featherweight. And when I think about you over the past year and some change, we've been kind of bouncing around a lot of different weight classes. Now here we are. The aim is to go down to featherweight. Are you having to approach your camp maybe a little bit differently with a bigger weight cut in mind compared to what you've been doing in the past?
No, I think being with the best team on the planet and training with the best team and doing all the right things every single day has put me in a different condition and put me at a weight where I feel comfortable making 145 pounds and being able to see how large the top level 155 pounders are and, thinning out a little bit since my last fight as well. I've taken about 10 pounds of muscle off. And I've really improved my cardio. I'm ready to go 5-minute rounds with anyone on the planet at any skill level. And I wouldn't have been able to do that before. I gassed out my last fight in, 2.5 minutes. And I think that was more of a mental thing, a more of an emotional thing. I had him hurt. I had him right there on the ropes, and I saw him going out. And I pushed on the gas a little too hard. But just learning from that experience and becoming more of a professional and training out here, I think that training approach has led to the drop back down to featherweight and, being able to train with all the great featherweights at Xtreme Couture, Danny Ige, Maz Burnell, my guy, Jeremy Kennedy. I'm missing a lot of great people, Kai Kamaka, Kanan Kawhi. We have so many guys. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry, guys. There's so Tyler Matheson. I mean, there's so many guys. Obviously, Shorty Torres is at 35, but he's right there. Train with him every day. Everybody top level guys.
Josh, this may shock you, but a lot of MMA fans are complete dickheads. I know that comes as a shock to you. And, that's something people have only been nice to you over the years. You've never once encountered a troll before. So I'm about to shock you by telling you not everyone's always nice all the time. People are going to look at that Henry fight and be like, this Augustine kid, man, he ain't it. That was a fight that he should have won. I'm sure you've never heard anything of that nature before. I wanted to ask you hypothetically how you would respond to somebody saying stuff like that.
I mean, really, all my losses have come in short notice circumstances and come by really funny ways. I was switching up camps coming out here going into that Henry fight. I didn't really have a set schedule. I was in a transition of a weight class, and I had all the excuses in the world going into that fight, but it was his night that night. It was a learning experience. I'm in this for the long haul, and I'm not worried about anyone else's opinion. I'm worried about being the best fighter I can be, and I think that translates to being one of the best fighters on the planet. So for me, I'm just I'm not worried about anything like that. I know that the time is ticking on getting to the UFC because they kind of get weird about getting into your 30s and getting in the UFC. But where I'm at in my career, I know that a couple of wins, I'm right back there. I'm right back on track. So that's what I'm looking forward to with this fight. And also, I know that Josh Henry was in the mix for this fight. We were talking about getting a rematch with him. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out. But I am open to do that rematch. I do think that I am the better fighter. I do think I'm a lot more skilled. I think that was a huge learning experience for me as far as approach to a fight, as far as going into a camp and just learning to have more respect for veterans and the game itself, not just saying, hey, I'm going to press on the gas and just blow through this guy in a minute and a half or 2 minutes just because I'm me. I landed some clean shots and he took them, and you have to be ready for a veteran like that to take shots like that, and you have to be ready to have a game plan to go 15 minutes and just school the guy.
Shamrock 350, that happens here in a few weeks, November 4th, and we're at kind of a point in time where we don't really know who we're fighting at this point. That's still something that you're working out with your management and then the promotion as well. So with there not being an opponent set in stone at this point, how does that affect your camp?
Well, we had a guy, Sean P-Town Wilson, but he priced himself out, and I like to think that I'm pretty positive that would be for a reason. I think that he wants to take easier fights for more money, and I don't really blame him for that necessarily. But the offer was on the table, and he had verbally agreed to it, but it didn't pan out for him to sign on the dotted line, unfortunately for me. But I'm just putting in work every single day. I'm helping Nicholas Mota and Jordan Levitt get ready for their fights in the UFC. And anyone that I step in front of, I'm going to be ready for. I'm training with all the best rounds that I can get every single day, all the toughest rounds with all the up-and-comers, all the established guys. And, I'm trying to make sure I'm prepared for anything that comes my way for this fight or for, another fight afterwards with a bigger organization. So
a win at Shamrock 350, that would put you up at 7-3, and that's like a really good record still. You're still in your athletic prime. You have a lot of options seemingly at the table. And I kind of wanted to ask, maybe it's a leading question, but like the PFL, they're really they're a rapidly growing organization. Would fighting for a promotion like them be something that you would consider?
I would consider it if the money is there. I would take, anything that's going to put food on the table for my son and I, and Shorty, of course. But the UFC is my goal right now. I think I'm hitting my athletic prime, and I'm training with some of the best guys, and I want to test myself the next few years. And I want to see how far I can take this thing in that route. After that, I would be open to going to, the PFL or any other organizations that are going to pop up. Risen would also be really cool to go fight for and make some money and fight in one of those giant arenas in Tokyo. But for the time being, my focus is fighting for the UFC.
And Josh, do you also have to kind of think in the back of your mind, like seemingly with a 7-3 record, knowing that you're right there in Las Vegas, like there is a potential, we'll say, for if they're running a local show and they need somebody that can make weight, seems to me like you'd be the type of guy that they would definitely consider bringing on for a short notice fight. And is that something that you kind of have to think about, even maybe when you're not in camp, kind of thinking about like, that call might always be there, so I kind of have to stay with it at all times?
I tell my management all the time. I constantly stay on Lance over at Iridium, and I'm always on them about getting me short notice fights whenever the UFC needs a featherweight or a lightweight come in, even if they need a welterweight. I'm 10 minutes from the Apex. I'll drive over there myself with my busted out headlight, and I need a check though to do something like that. But I'll go out there and I'll put on a show. It doesn't really affect my training too much, though. I just know that I'm prepared. I know that I want to be prepared for any opportunity that comes my way. Now that I'm getting a little older, I'm seeing how this game works. When you're not really expecting it, opportunities will arise. So I'm just trying to be as prepared as possible, stay in shape, stay sharp, working with all these best guys, stay evolving, and whenever that opportunity does come, when that day does come, I will be ready.
Shamrock 350, Josh, for all the people that are going to be showing up to watch you fight. I know you're like the mayor of St. Louis. A lot of people show up to specifically watch you fight. For Shamrock, all your people, all your supporters, what can they expect when you set foot in the cage here in a few weeks?
Well-rounded, sharp striking. I'm gonna be all over this guy. it's going to be a show for sure. I'm going to definitely go out there and try and showcase my skills, everything I've been working on here with the best team in the world. You know, it was tough whenever I first got out here making that adjustment and going with high-level guys for, you know, just getting used to everything. But now coming out on the other side, I'm really ready to showcase all this. And I really didn't want to take this much time off from the cage, but it kind of has come full circle because I really feel like I've honed in my natural ability, my athletic, speedy power ability, and I've really put a lot of game behind that. And I have the best coaches, the best teammates in the world, and I'm ready to go out there and showcase that.
Well, apart from Shorty Inc., I know you have a lot of other people that help you pay your bills. So who do we need to talk about before I let you go?
Yes. We're going to talk about Total Roofing St. Louis. Thank you, guys. Go see them for all your roofing needs in St. Louis. Sports Analytics, check them out on Instagram. St. Louis Golden Toad Tattoo. Of course, the Team Shorty Foundation, Fieldhouse and Honky Tonk. They're going to have my after party after the fight. So everybody, let's head over there right after the main event. After I rip this dude's head off, we're going to go over there. We're going to get some drinks. We're going to turn up. We're going to throw Shorty chains on. Shorty's going to be there with purple hair. We're going to be going. 2 car guys in St. Louis. They got the best deals, best leasing options in right outside of St. Louis. Go down to Crystal City and see those guys if you're in the St. Louis area. Paradise Pub out here. We're going to have a viewing party there for all my Vegas people. You're going to head over to Paradise Pub and see them, you know, have some fun and check the show out. And then, of course, my guys over at the Garrison, Elliot the Barber, the Garrison LV. Thank you guys for keeping me looking clean, looking fresh. You can see I'm faded up. He's the best in the game. He gets everybody. He fucking gets Connor. So if you're out in Vegas, you need to get trimmed up. See my boy Elliot.
Well, Josh, I appreciate your time this evening, and I look forward to having you back here very soon for the next one.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much, Tyler.